Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's just awesome that you're tuning in. So the Neo Geo X is a device that I was looking for quite some time now. I can still remember the first time I laid my eyes on a Neo Geo Gold back in the day, completely boxed in a game shop, but I never picked it up. And the reason why I'm just picking it up is very simple. I'm a big Neo Geo fan and I still wanted to make a review about this product and show you what are we going to get. So that is something we're going to do today. But with the Neo Geo X there is a little bit of a bad story that we're going to discuss today. Of course we're going to do some gameplay testing and we're going to also do some comparisons. But the Neo Geo X, there is a lot to talk about. To begin with, the versions that are out there. We're having the version they are seeing here in the video, just the basic kit. And we're having the gold edition that comes complete in box. But this Neo Geo hybrid handheld, it's quite some time on the market. It's pretty damn obscure. And first, let's talk about why it's so obscure. So to begin with, the Neo Geo X have never been made by SNK themselves. They have been manufactured by Tomo and it's just licensed by SNK Playmore. But what is very important that here in Europe we know this company Blaze, or better said Blaze released it for the European market. But coming back to the Neo Geo X packs, we're having two different versions. You could buy the Neo Geo X Gold Edition. There was a complete package with docking station, handheld and even some extra games. This thing retailed for $199. So let's say just $200, and we had the only handheld only version. This thing was more like the cheapest edition. This thing retailed for around $130. But sadly, there was a lot of controversy with the companies and the product itself. So after a couple of years production, it stopped. And I think that is one of the reasons why this product is so obscure, hard to find, and if you find one, it's so freaking expensive. So let's start about the controller, because this was pretty cool. With the limited gold edition, we have this arcade stick. In other words, we can play the games like with the Neo Geo AES. Here at the front we're finding the decal. That was of course different because it was the Neo Geo X model. But what is really cool, what you can already hear, is that it has a real arcade stick. It weighs a little bit less than the original version. The button touch is a little bit different. But at the end, this is a USB version that you maybe can use on your PC, for example. So that is pretty cool. So the first thing that I really liked about the Neo Geo X, it comes with this gigantic box. Like the original AES games, the game cards were pretty huge. So what are we going to get with this kit? Very simple. There's a lot of great art on it. And it's just a real cool collectible if it comes to the box itself. It's a high quality box, it weighs quite heavy. It is made of very thick plastic. Here at the back we can find the games that are on the SD card that came originally with the device. Here we have inside very well protection. It comes with this very thick manual, and as you can see, every game is explained here. So that is pretty cool if you just want to read some stuff about the games, how they are working, and basically some background information. Something you don't see very often nowadays. They put a lot of effort making a very nice manual, and as you can see, with a lot of games we have a lot of information, including some stickers. So that's also very cool. Alright, so that brings us to the system itself. So the Neo Geo X portable device. Alright, here we have this little cable that is needed for upgrading the firmware. Maybe in the future we'll do a separate review, because there's a lot of stuff going on with the Neo Geo X, because we can even upgrade it with different emulators. Normally we're having the SD card with the extra games, but basically that is the sad thing about the Neo Geo X, it's just an SD card. Yeah, that is really cheap. It looks a little bit thinner than the other SD cards I've seen, but basically that is what it is, it's just an SD card. And here we have the system itself, of course, where all the magic happens. I really love these landscape models, and this is what we're going to get. We're having a menu button over here, we have a start. The button itself feels quite nice, but this is this thing. This is what makes the SNK Neo Geo X awesome. The clickies, awesome joystick. Alright, let's grab my microphone. it's very loud. It's super loud, but it is so cool. Also with the Neo Geo Pocket, a real mini arcade stick, and of course the Neo Geo CD controller. Alright, so at the top we're finding the L1, L2, R1 and R2. Then we're having some more options, even the AV out. And I really like the grip of the device itself. Here we have the HDMI, AV out, and we're having the micro USB for charging the device, of course. At the back, this is very nice, SNG decal. Ooh, very shiny. And we're having this rubber compound. At the bottom we can find volume control, brightness control. So I really like that they put everything on it that we need, and including the headphone jack. Here at the right we have the on and off switch, and of course the SD card reader. The SD card has this little Neo Geo decal, and this was normally the SD card that came with the pack with the extra games. And on this side there is basically nothing. Alright, so let's take a close look at the specification of the Neo Geo X, because the device has an X-Burst 1 GHz MIPS CPU, 512 MB DDR2 RAM, has an SanDisk SD 2 GB for storage, an LCD and not an IPS, just an old school LCD 4.3 inches that has a resolution of 480 by 272. Also very special, you can always switch between screen ratios 4:3 and 60:9 in-game and in menu everywhere where you were. We have in the CPU, there was a Vivanti GC860, and the software where this device is running on is the familiar OpenDingux. Alright, so let's power on the device itself and give you a little look of the LCD itself, because it's a very nice LCD, very big, I like it. But at the end, when you're looking at it, you can see it's old technology. Nowadays we are spoiled with all those great devices like the GameCube, the Retro Game 350 that have the beautiful IPS screens, but this is what we call old school. Not bad at all, don't get me wrong. Again, I'm a little bit spoiled, but it's still a very cool device. So this is what you're going to get, and as you can see already, and you have a little trouble in capturing it. But the view angle, it's not the best, but when you're playing it and holding it in your hand, it's just fine. So, but let's talk about the games, because here it was a little bit messy, to be honest. So the device itself, the Neo Geo X, came with some games. There were total 36 games for the Neo Geo X, and there were some preloaded, as you can see here. I'm going to give you a little look inside one of the cards. This was the first version, but at the end there were a lot of different volumes they released. So you have this struggle that you needed to swap between the SD cards. And if it comes to the loading times, I'm just going to give this a worst case scenario. If you look at this Blazing Star game, there are just a few big games that take freaking forever to load up. But not to be all negative, there are games on Metal Slug that are only having a loading time for, let's say, 6 or 7 seconds. And the 4 buttons at the top, or better said the shoulder buttons, can give us the extra option to change the aspect ratio, whatever we want. And it doesn't even matter if you're in the game or in the menu. And also we're having the button, the R2, giving us the option to speed up the game. There are 2 extra levels. So if you want to play the games like Metal Slug on Turbo mode, it's all possible with Neo Geo X. Alright, so let's talk about the docking station, because this is quite interesting. Because this was a hybrid system like the Nintendo Switch. And it was pretty unique, considering this thing was from 2012. At the front we're finding the on and off and 2 USB connections for the controllers. At the back we're finding DC in, AV out and HDMI. And at the top we're finding the reset button. Alright, so here in the middle we can open it up. I must say it feels quite nice. But I'm just going to be honest, I am not a big fan of this. Because putting the device or the handheld inside the docking station, this is personally a big nightmare, and you need to be very gentle, otherwise you're going to damage the connectors. So that is something that I really don't like about it. And when it's ready, you can close it, and we have now the Neo Geo game console. Alright, so the first thing I need is of course the power adapter, and it also charges the handheld itself. So we're going to connect it through AV out on my LCD TV, and we're going to play some Neo Geo. Alright, so everything is set up and we are going to play some games on the television through the AV out. I'm going to boot up Fatal Fury, and I want to show you that there are some games that are booting up very quickly compared with, for example, the other game I have shown you here in the video. Almost instant boot. Alright, so let's play some games and let's see how are they running. Alright, so I just wanted to do this side-by-side comparison with the AV out function HDMI, so you have a better idea what you're going to get with this. So, let's play some games and let's compare.
Dr. R. Muckley, an ex-US Army scientist, has been kidnapped by possible Northside terrorists and taken to Nom's backwood.
Metal Slug! Slug! Metal Slug! Mission 1, start! Heavy machine gun! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Heavy machine gun.
Get ready! Power up! Yeah! Bonus!
Alright, so the Neo Geo X, I must say, doing the review and playing around with it, I think I'm a little bit in love with this device because if you look how they made it, I really love how this landscape device looks and of course how it feels, especially the little clicky mini arcade joystick here at the left. If you look at the collections they are selling us, or back in the day, I understand the marketing, but I don't like the way how they're doing this with these SD cards. No, but the packaging is cool. If you look at the controller, the docking station itself I really hate it, but the controller it plays very nice. You need to put this device or this handheld inside the docking station. That's the main part I really hate about it. It's not very convenient and very hard to do. If you're looking for a very good Neo Geo experience, this will not be the best you can get. This is more like an awesome thing to buy if you like handhelds and you're a big Neo Geo fan like me. So that concludes this review. I hope you have a bad idea what you're going to get. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, become the Wickedfamily. And at the end you can find one of these devices for very cheap. I think it's a really cool collectible item. And it is really fun to play, don't get me wrong. And it would be great to see you in the next one.